What's up, y'all? So, someone sent me Shakur Stevenson's tweet on Twitter. You guys saw it as a thumbnail before you clicked this video. And Tesla talk, right? I'm in the car. I'm in the car. You from Boston? And at some point, because I'm seeing it through the lens of myself, how I do business, right? At some point, fighters going to have to hold themselves accountable to the contracts that they sign. Shakur Stevenson said it's twofold. They're trying to block him out. Y'all remember I said Shakur Stevenson and Devin Haney would be next after Gary Russell, but y'all don't understand. When you an outlier as a boxer and you really can run through a promoter's stable, if you have a great night, if you're on your A game, you can run through a promoter's stable, meaning that the promoter will not maximize his fighters. Fred, what are you talking about? Shakur Stevenson didn't fight. And this has nothing to do with race. Understand what I'm saying. It's about the underlying talent, right? When you have Shakur Stevenson and Oscar Valdez, they didn't fight at 126. They fought when Oscar Valdez matured, right? Because Oscar Valdez has some big fights on the West Coast between Arizona and Los Angeles that could make the promotional company money. And it's business 101. Gary Russell and Al Heyman, right? He didn't fight Carl Frampton, Abner Mares, and Leo Santa Cruz because he would have put them out of business, right? And not put them out of business, but he wouldn't have maximized the profits of those three fighters on the PBC side and those on the other side, right? And here we have Shakur Stevenson. His big bro is Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford has awakened to the business of boxing. I've watched 2 interviews. I watched the Pivot interview in its entirety, and I saw the 15 minutes on what's called, and I did see the full interview on the Breakfast Club. And I fell asleep on the first part of the EYL interview, but I watched the second half of it. So that's what I've watched. I know he's done about 30 interviews, but I haven't watched them all. The interviews that I have saw, he admitted that he was in a piss poor contract, which is what I said in 2017. And I was considered a Bud hater, which is fair, because I also said that Earl Spence would beat him. So when you choose a fighter, you are the hater of the other fighter. I get it. I understand how YouTube works, and you're right. Shakur Stevenson. Remember Shakur Stevenson. I told you during COVID. I don't know if you watched the show, but I'm only gonna tell the fighters the truth. And Shakur Stevenson is another young fighter that I absolutely love, like Devin Haney, and I have to tell the truth because no one else will tell them the truth. Shakur Stevenson, when you moved up from 130 to 135 without them belts, you relinquish your power in boxing. And people are just talking, oh, he can't make weight, he can't do this. No, you should have been disciplined enough to make 130, fight that one fight, and retain your power and put yourself in mandatory position instead of Lomachenko. You would have had to fight Devin Haney, or Devin Haney would have to relinquish one of those belts. But legally, right? I don't know what the promotional company would have done, but I'm just saying you would have been the number one guy in the WBC because don't they have emeritus? I don't know the term they use, but at the end of the day, Mikey Garcia did it. That's all I'm saying. Canelo has done it. So you had a chance. And when you're in these contracts with promotional companies and you're an outlier of a boxer, meaning on any given, your A game is better than anyone else's A game. Devin Haney and Shakur Stevenson's A game is better than anyone's A game. Gary Russell's A game was better than anybody's A game at 126. Facts. And because of this, they're gonna treat you like an outlier. I did the Pernell Whitaker video. I know when I talk, it comes off as hate, especially when I'm not advocating on your behalf. But here we are, Shakur Stevenson. Terrence Crawford has the power now, right? Terrence Crawford, the boxing world is revolving around Terrence Crawford. Floyd Mayweather failed at this. I'm going to tell you who hasn't failed. Amir Abdullah. Amir Abdullah has put all his boys on, from Larry Wade to Badu Jack. Badu Jack was on Mike Tyson's card, and he got the big bag over there in Saudi Arabia. They're brothers. Every time I see one, I see the other one. You know, I've never gone out with them. I've only seen them on the weekends at boxing events, but they have protected one another. Floyd Mayweather did not. Didn't protect Mickey Bay. Didn't protect Jalen Love. And all the people he came with, even his trainer, Nate Jones, you know, who said Floyd never really paid him, you know. I saw a video short by somebody. Damn, I don't know who it is. Google it. And he was sitting in his gym. I forget who did it, man, but I want you guys to Google that. And it was a YouTube short. I don't know who did it, but anyways, I want to give them credit. But it's important that we understand the contracts that we're in. It's about business, right? And when you realize it's about money, it'll make more sense. You know, growing up where I come from, you're breaded is a good word, to play skin politics in the good, the bad, and the ugly in your life. And in many cases, I don't know the percentage of it in many cases, but I'm not going to say in many cases. In cases, race does play a part in it, right? There are racists in this world. There are racist black people. There are racist white people. There are racist Latinos. That part is true. I also believe that the majority of America, because I haven't lived in another country, but I'll tell you what, I've never experienced racism in another country. I've been to over 30 countries, you know, and I was only there for a week or two, or at most 2 weeks, you know. But I can't recall myself being discriminated against in other countries. I've been to over 30 countries, and my last, like 2013 or 12 was the last country I've been to. Traveling internationally, going across an ocean. That's an interesting text. So, where am I at? I just think that we got to see the long term of it. And Floyd Mayweather failed with his power. Now, Terrence Crawford has the power. His best friend has, and his manager is, what's his name? Y'all know the guy from Houston, Jay Prince. So he's in a position with people with money. Put up your own money. Put the fight on. You know what I mean? Create a level of independence that puts fear in Bob Arum, Al Heyman, whoever else. Until you can put fear in them that they're losing business like I did. When I put 300 people in the parking lot for Earl Spence Sean Porter, it scared the daylights out of people, man. It's like, holy shit, how did he do this? Right? Like Malcolm X. If Malcolm X would have had 5 years outside the Nation of Islam, it wouldn't be a Nation of Islam today. It would be Muslim Mosque Incorporated. I guarantee you that. And had America had 5 years with El Hajj Malik El Shabazz at 38, remember March 8th, 1964, he denounced the Nation of Islam. 1964, right? Yeah, March 8th, somewhere in there. It's March, early March. He denounced the Nation of Islam and became El Hajj Malik El Shabazz. There will be no Farrakhan. And I said, I use El Hajj Malik El Shabazz is the truth. It doesn't have to be unpacked. But when you got layers and layers and layers and layers of breaded information, remember I used the term breaded at the top of this video, breaded information, it doesn't allow you to see things for what it is. You only can see things from a poor person's perspective, from your race perspective, from a without perspective. People say victim perspective. If you're on the other side, you only can see it from an elitist perspective. You know, if you're part of the majority, you only can see it from a majority perspective. And when we peel back the layers of all this, Shakur Stevenson, in his next contract dealings, got to understand the big picture. He also got to understand, if you're going to play business with Bob Arum and Jay Prince, you better do it to win. When you have not absolute power, but you'll have a percentage of power if you have a belt. If you don't have a belt, you got to hustle like you're doing now on Instagram. Now, Bob Arum likes you on some level because he thinks you could be the best fighter in the world, so he's going to give you a fight. You're going to fight before the end of the year, I guarantee. It may not be who you want to fight, but you're going to fight somebody, and you're going to win. And everyone's going to be like, I ain't fighting them. Because guess what? Every other fighter, many other fighters that signed to these promotional companies have a manager / lawyer that has invested in them, that got them out the hood, that took them to Bob Arum. So not only does Bob Arum got to get his money, but their manager that invested in them when they were 0-0 to get them to the next level. That's why you got to understand business in its totality from 50,000 feet, like I say all the time. You got to see life from 50,000 feet. It's not, you can't go to someone's job and say they got to change the dress code. If the dress code says wear a uniform, you got to wear a uniform. If the NBA say wear a uniform, Allen Iverson, you got to wear a uniform. It's just the rules, right? It has nothing to do with race, or it has with the bottom line. I need everybody to look in uniform, right? Everybody got to do media before and after the game. We can't have any other products. We can't. If the NBA don't sponsor this product, we don't want to see it. Go back to Michael Jordan and Nike. They broke the rules, so what happened? Nike paid the fine every game Michael Jordan played. You get what I'm saying? So understand big pictures. When you get in a position of power, you better own it. Floyd lost it. Terrence Crawford has it now. What will he do with it? It's a big question. Fred, I've never relinquished my power. As long as you guys have known me, I've never relinquished my power. That's what bothers people. And I've grown along the way. That's even more fearful. I've grown. My intellect, I've gained information. My vernacular has broadened, you know? I should say 100,000 feet now, because when I started, I was at 50,000 feet. Now I'm at 100,000 feet. So anyways, man, Shakur Stevenson, understand the big picture. And understand there's rules to engagement when you are part of the business. If you want to be because you're an outlier boxer, you want to be an outlier. See what Floyd made the biggest mistake was? The man had $1 billion. The man had the chance to turn $1 billion into 10 billion liquid. How, Fred? He could have been Dana White. Yeah, he could have been Dana White. We should be having a Floyd Mayweather belt. With $1 billion? And you on top? You just fought Manny Pacquiao? You're the center of attention. You got all the money. You can use your celebrity. You can leverage with the banks. This era... Anyways, I'll say that for another minute. Shakur Stevenson, when you're in possession of power, maximize it. That's all I got to tell you. That's why I can say what I want to say, Shakur Stevenson, because no matter what I've done in boxing, I've done what I needed to do from a landowner perspective, I've paid my taxes. I've been fair. I have no strikes against me with the county, with the city, in terms of going to court, being sued. No racial things like Donald Sterling on my records. I treat people with respect. So what I did was, because I abide by the rules over here, I'm able to have a sense of freedom. So once you abide by the rules, make weight, get your belt, then you have a sense of freedom. And then you sign the fighter. I always said, if you're the A side, you ain't fighting. Should I let this out the bag? I'm gonna tell y'all this. Everybody, this is important to all you fighters. If I'm in Floyd Mayweather, if I'm Canelo, if I'm now, you're not fighting me. You're not fighting me if you don't sign to me. Yeah, you want my belts? You want my celebrity? You gotta sign to me. It's business. It's business. That's something that's never been implemented from a fighter's perspective at the scale that a promoter does it. Floyd didn't need a promoter. Floyd didn't need Al Heyman. Floyd needed one lawyer and an auditor. He probably should have had a lawyer check the other lawyer, but all he needed was a lawyer per deal, like Ray Allen. Anyways, the next superstar in boxing, in the next era of boxing, holla at me, man. We're going to take it over. Go.